Hi, alright, I'm going to make a little bit of a different video today. So I'm over here in Thailand. Almost everyone rides a bike over here. So I'm going to be talking about how to steer a motorbike properly, why it's different to steering a car properly. I'm going to try to clear up a little bit of the confusion. I'm going to show you where the confusion comes from, how you can unconfuse yourself, and then at the end of the video I'm also going to show you a drill you can do when you're out riding your little bike or your big bike or even your push bike that's going to increase your control of it and make you ultimately a safer rider. So with four-wheel vehicles, we understand that where those wheels are pointing is where it's going to go. We turn this wheel to the right, these wheels will turn to the right. So that's pretty obvious, isn't it? We all understand exactly where that car is going to go. Cars have one-dimensional steering. And the differences between a car and a motorbike is not the number of wheels, it's the fact that the car doesn't lean and the motorbike does lean. So motorbikes have what you might call two-dimensional steering. Yeah, you can turn the wheel and that has an effect, but motorbikes also lean over from left to right, which also has an effect on where the motorbike's going to go. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about something they call counter-steering. It's a term that I don't really like. I think that the term sort of adds to the confusion. I'm just using it in the title so people might be able to find this video. So there's two ways to steer a motorbike. There's two ways to steer a wheelbarrow because the wheelbarrow is also able to lean. So I can steer it, remove the wheel, or I can lean it. So if I want to turn that way, with this vehicle I've got two ways to do it. I can either turn the wheel with no leaning, I'll go that way, or I can just lean it and it will go that way by itself. So same as the wheelbarrow, the motorbike can turn in two different ways. Yeah, you can rotate that front tire and turn left and right, but also depending on which way the motorbike is leaning will control the direction of travel. So over at my neighbour's, he's got three-wheeled motorbikes. We're going to go and have a look at that and see the differences between a two-wheeled motorbike. Again, it's not the number of wheels, it's the fact that this one leans, the three-wheeled motorbike doesn't. But before we do that, we're going to stop thinking about turning the wheel. We're going to start thinking about pushing left or pushing right. It's okay to turn the wheel in a car. On a motorbike, you don't want to be turning anything. You want to be thinking about pushing the bars. So whether you're new to motorbike riding or really experienced, please stick around and watch what I'm going to show you. Because if you've never been taught this stuff before, I guarantee you it's going to give you better control of your motorbike, more easy control of your motorbike, and ultimately in the long run, it's going to make you a safer rider. And this is a motorbike safety video. So yeah, motorbike safety video with a guy in flip-flops. I understand the hypocrisy, but I'm over here in rural Thailand, it's boiling hot, so give me a break on that one. So when we're on the motorbike, we don't control it by turning the handlebars. We control the motorbike by pushing left and pushing right, like that. You might say, well, what's the difference? But just trust me and go with it. It does make a difference and it aids your understanding as to exactly what's going on with the bike. So I've popped over here to my neighbour's because he has a three-wheeled motorbike. And again, it's not the number of wheels, it's not because it has three wheels. It's this thing can't lean, that can lean. And that's why there's a difference in the way you have to steer them. So this subject is a common cause of confusion. The reason I wanted to address it is because it leads directly into motorbike safety. So let's try and clear up the confusion. And in doing so, I'm also going to be teaching you something that will make you a better and safer motorbike rider. We're going to steer this not by turning the bars, but by pushing right or pushing left. So I'm going to push right, and what's going to happen? We're going to turn left. Push right, turn left. Now let's push left, and where are we going to go? If I push left, we're going to turn right, okay? So I hope that's all pretty obvious. The confusion arises is because people assume that the same is true of a motorbike, two-wheeled vehicle, a vehicle that can lean. But unfortunately, it's the exact opposite. When you push left, the bike will lean left and it will go left. And when you push right, the bike will lean over to the right and it will go right. So one more time, and we're going to focus on push left. Push left, it will turn right. But before I get into that, I want to explain just a little bit about where the confusion comes from and why people have such a fundamental misunderstanding and why it's important to understand this. So there's a few things that we learn as children involving balance, walking, standing on one leg, riding a bike. And when we learn to do these things, we learn it kind of naturally. No one gives us any direct instruction. So we kind of learn these things on like a subconscious level. So I can stand on one leg, but if you ask me to explain to you how I'm doing this or teach you how to do it, well, I couldn't really tell you. Yeah, I'm wiggling my leg around. I can feel my stomach muscles are twitching, my arms are moving, my head's moving, my hips are moving. Everything's moving. It's complicated. I can do it, but I can't tell you how I'm doing it because I'm doing it like in my subconscious mind rather than in my conscious mind. And the same is true of riding a bike. Most people learn this when they're very young and without any real direct instruction beyond, here you go, little Johnny, here's a bike, learn to balance, put your feet down, oh, careful, yeah, try again, nearly, almost, that kind of thing. Little Johnny's parents won't be teaching him exactly what he should be doing with the handlebars, turning them or pushing them left and right like I'm saying. And that's because little Johnny's parents, for the most part, don't understand themselves how they ride a bike. They're doing it much like standing on one leg, all as part of their subconscious mind. It's not in their conscious mind, so they're not really able to vocalize exactly what they're doing. So the vast majority of people who can ride a bicycle or a motorbike, they're doing so with their subconscious mind, and that's all okay. It works well. They can go around a corner, they can come to a stop, they didn't fall over, they haven't had an accident in 20 years. What's the problem? Well, the problem is when you leave control of the vehicle all up to your subconscious mind, if you ever do get into an emergency situation, your subconscious mind can have a tendency to freeze up or to focus on the problem, and you get this thing called target fixation. So what we want to do ideally is we want to take control of the motorbike and bring it from our subconscious mind into our conscious mind. So if we ever do get into like a difficult situation, we have a chance of our conscious mind taking over the steering. And in order to have a chance of doing that, we have to understand the steering exactly what's going on with these bars. And that's why I'm going on about it so much. I'm trying to drill it into your head a little bit and boil it down to a couple of simple principles. Push right and push left. This is the best way to control a bike. And this is the best way to drill it into your conscious mind about what you're actually doing and how it actually turns. From what I read online and from what I've seen in the comments of my own videos where this subject has come up a little bit, there is a lot of confusion amongst motorbike riders of how they steer their motorbike. Sometimes they'll say things like they lean on the pegs, or they do it with their hips, or they lean into the turn, all kinds of weird stuff like this. There's only one way to steer a motorbike, and that is to turn those handlebars, as I'm going to demonstrate to you as best as I can now. Remembering that on that, you push left, you went right. On this, we're going to push left and we're going to go left. So I'm going to ride up here a little bit, and when I shout push left, what I'm going to do is push left with my left hand on the bars, and the bike is going to turn left, go left. Right. Push left, go left. So this is the confusing part, and you don't have to take my word for it. Get on your own push bike or motorbike and try this out for yourself. Go in a nice straight line and just give the bar a push in left or right and see where it goes. So I only had my left hand on the bar. I only pushed left, and what happened? The bike veered off quite fast to the left. And to be perfectly honest, it's all gravel here and I nearly lost control. So obviously it's much safer on a nice tarmacked road with a helmet and all that, and that's what you should be doing. The point of all this is we want to take control of the motorbike away from like a vague feeling of our subconscious balance that we learned as a child. Yeah, we can kind of do it. Yeah, we can get the bike to go left, and yeah, I can get the bike to go right. When you take that and put it into a direct, forceful control, such as push right and push left, and this is what proper motorbike riders do. That's how they flick their bikes from left to right in a fast chicane at 100 miles an hour. That's how they do this. They're not shifting their hips around. They're pushing hard on the bar. But as I'm saying, as they're first starting to do this, make sure you're on a nice, dry, grippy road, and at first, don't push too hard. But as you go along, what you're going to be able to do is you're going to learn that you can push actually really quite hard and quite fast. And the harder you push, the faster the bike, or the more the bike will lean over. It really allows you to pick the exact spot where you're going to turn, and it allows you to set the lean angle of your bike for then going round that turn. And it just gives you so much greater control. So every time you're out riding, you can be practicing this, pushing left and pushing right, and using those inputs, and those alone, that's all you need to control any bike in any situation. And an extra bit of muscle memory that will allow you to control the bike in that emergency situation. You're going to understand exactly, if I want to go that way, I do that, and that's all you need to do. I do push right, push right. So I hope that comes across clearly on the camera what I'm talking about. As you can see, I'm not leaning, I'm not using my hips, I'm not pressing on the pegs, doesn't have any pegs. I'm just shoving the bar, little push, and bike goes straight away. So I hope that was interesting, and I hope that was informative. I hope I've clearly explained all that, and you guys can now see the difference between the motorbike and other kinds of vehicle. So I wanted to make this video today to show you that there's a more conscious way to control your bike. If you're able to ride a bike, you're already doing all this. What I'm teaching you is not something new. You're already doing this, but you're doing it subconsciously. But doing this drill, so every time you're out, every time you take a turn, pick your spot, push the bar, get a feel for it yourself. What you're going to be doing is going to be bringing it from your subconscious to your conscious, making the control of your motorbike a more conscious decision, and over time that's going to give you better control. You're going to be safer, you're going to be able to pick your line better, pick your spot better, and maybe even avoid an obstacle in an emergency situation. Not in sandals on a slippery surface like I was doing it. A patch of road that's nice and dry where you can really trust that front tyre is going to have good grip, and you can really give it a good old shove and see just how quickly that bike will turn. It's really quite amazing once you start doing it. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. See you later for another one.